take a photo of your license and permit. They'll tell you to go get your truck ready.
Are you recording?
Which means air it up.
Okay.
So we'll come out. You might have air, you might not. It just depends. Just see me checking? Just have it. Before you let that clutch out, you just always check. Even if you just checked. I mean, that I do it like that. That way?
No, we want it all the way on.
I don't know if it makes it harder to hear.
Oh.
I'll talk loud. You know what? If it's cold, I'll put my window up. Alright, it just cut out. So when your governor cuts out, shut the truck off. Go get the examiner. You'll both come back out. He'll be in the passenger seat. You'll be over here. He'll read you the instructions. And he'll tell you, go ahead and start your pre-trip. So you tell him I'm going to turn the electric on. And when I do, my ABS light for tractor and trailer are going to light up here. My DEF light here. And the ABS light on the back of my trailer. They'll all come on and off in 5 seconds to let me know they are working. So there's ABS for tractor and trailer. There's my DEF light and the ABS light on the back of my trailer. They all did come on and off in 5 seconds, so I know they are working. I'm going to release my tractor parking brake and test my trailer parking brakes. They are working. Set the tractor parking brakes, release the trailer parking brakes, and check the tractor parking brakes. They are working. Release both sets of parking brakes. I'm going to pull forward 5 miles an hour, apply the service brakes, and make sure I don't pull to the left or to the right. You can pull left to right. I'm going to check my air pressure buildup rate. I'm going to make sure my pressure can go from 85 psi to 100 psi within 45 seconds at 1500 RPMs. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It only took 17 seconds. Air pressure buildup rate is good. I'm going to continue to let it build to the governor cutout level of 120 to 125. Governor cut out at 120. I'm going to check my air pressure leakage rate. I'm going to shut the truck off in gear. Not something I would normally do, but since we're in the truck, it's all right. I'm then going to put the electric back to the dash, and when the air pressure stabilizes, I'm going to make sure I don't lose more than 3 psi in 1 minute. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got to count all the way to 60. I did not lose more than 3 psi in 1 minute. I'm now going to apply full pressure to the service brake, about 90 pounds of pressure. When the tanks and air pressure stabilizes, I'm going to make sure I don't lose more than 4 psi in 1 minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 60. I did not lose more than 4 psi in 1 minute. I'm going to check my low air pressure warning devices. I'm going to continue to pump air out of the system, and at or above 60, my low air pressure lights and buzzer should come on. My buzzer came on at 65 psi. My first light came on and second light came on at 55 psi. So my low air pressure warning devices are working. I'm now going to check to make sure my emergency spring brakes are working. I'm going to continue to pump air out of the system, and at 40 psi the emergency spring brakes should apply, and I'll know that by my 2 valves pumping out. Both tractor and trailer emergency spring brakes applied at 25 psi. That completes my air brake test. All right, I'm going to check my seat belts, make sure they're mounted securely, nuts and bolts are tight. Checking the belt itself, making sure it's not worn, torn, cut, or frayed. Making sure that the latch works and holds, and it does. Going to check my oil pressure. Should rise to between 20 to 40 psi. Water temperature should steadily rise and not overheat. Going to make sure that my tach works. It does. Show that I have between 1/2 and 3/4 tanks of DEF fluid. Voltmeter shows I'm charging, and I'm charging at 13.5 volts. I do have a dual air system. The governor cuts in at 100, and the governor would cut back out at 120 to 125. I'm going to check my dash indicator lights. My left turn signal, my right turn signal, my 4-way flashers, my high beam indicator. My background dash light is lit also. I'm going to check my heater and defrost. My defrost is working. My heater is working. I'm going to check my windshield, make sure it's clean, not cracked or broken, no illegal obstructions. Checking my mirrors, making sure that they're clean, not cracked or broken. They are adjusted for me. Check my city horn and my air horn. They are working. Gonna check I don't have more than a 2-inch play in my 20-inch wheel. And I do not. I can see the wheel moving. I'm gonna ask the examiner if he can help me check my outside lights. So what I would ask for you to do, if you could, go to the front of the truck, and the lights I'll have you check, and you don't have to go out. I'll let you know. I'll do this for left turn signal. I have one on the front of the tractor, the side of the tractor, and the side of the trailer. Right turn signal, I'll do this. Front of the tractor, side of the tractor, side of the trailer. 4 ways, I'll do that. Front of the tractor, side of the tractor, side of the trailer. I have cab ID lights, I'll do this. I'll do that for low beams and that for high beams. Once we check those, if you could go to the back of the trailer, and again, we're going to check left turn signal, right turn signal, 4-way flashers. I'll do this for trailer ID lights, and then my fist down for brake lights. He gets out, goes to the front of the truck, and then we'll check everything. I'll tell him left. He'll look down the side, give me the thumbs up. Rights, he'll look down the side, give me the thumbs up. 4 ways, he'll look down both sides, give me the thumbs up. Tell him cab ID lights, he'll look, give me the thumbs up. I'll tell him low beams, he'll give me thumbs up. I'll give him high beams, and he'll give me the thumbs up. We'll now walk to the back. Once he gets back there, we'll do it again. Left turn signal, I'll get a thumbs up. Right turn signal, thumbs up. 4 ways, thumbs up. I'll tell him trailer ID lights, I'll get a thumbs up, and I'll tell him brake lights, I'll get a thumbs up. He's going to start walking back up the side of the trailer. So at that point, I'm going to leave my 4 ways on, my bright lights. I'm going to turn the wheel all the way to the left. And I'm going to release the hood with the hood release at the base of the steering wheel. Shut the truck off. Turn the electric back on so all the lights on the outside are lit. And this will be the moment of truth. If I failed any of the automatic fails, he's going to tell me now. And if he doesn't say anything, we'll just keep right on going.
Part I want you say it's so much better than
Yeah.
you just have a better I like your wording. I'm getting
Mine might be a little more long-winded.
it's still well they say different things and then
All right, so when we get out here, he didn't say anything, so we're happy. I'm going to check for leaks. I'm looking to see if I have any fuel, oil, coolant, or power steering leaks. I'm going to check my cab ID lights, make sure they're working. Lenses are clean, not cracked or broken. Proper color amber to the front. They may serve as reflectors. Check my right and left turn signals. There are also parking lights, four-way flashers. They're the proper color amber to the front. They may serve as reflectors. Checking my headlights, even though both high beams and low beams aren't on, I'm going to tell them both my high beams and low beams are working. The lenses are clean, not cracked or broken. Lights are the proper color clear. We'll come over to this side. Most of the trucks will have the exhaust stacked. If you happen to have 101, the exhaust is on this side. So I would come to the exhaust if I have this truck. My exhaust is mounted securely, nuts and bolts are tight, not cracked or broken. Leaks will be indicated by soot marks at the connections. All right, I'm going to check my connections. I am looking for any fluid leaks and I'm listening for air leaks. I don't hear any air leaks and I do not see any fluid leaks. Checking my water pump. It's mounted securely, nuts and bolts are tight. It's not cracked or broken, not leaking any fluid. Lines are attached. They're not leaking any fluid. It is belt driven. Belt is present, not worn, torn, loose. Proper tension 1/2 to 3/4 inches. Coolant reservoir is mounted securely, nuts and bolts are tight. It's not cracked or broken, it's not leaking any fluid. Cap is tight, not leaking any fluid. Lines are securely attached, they're not cut, frayed, or leaking any fluid. Watch your head on the mirror. Checking my alternator, making sure that it's mounted securely, nuts and bolts are tight, it's not cracked or broken. All the wires are securely attached, they're not cut, frayed, corroded, and all the insulation is intact on the wires. It is belt driven, proper tension 1/2 to 3/4 inches. My air compressor, mounted securely, nuts and bolts are tight, it's not cracked or broken, it's not leaking any fluid or air. Lines are securely attached. They're not cut, broken, they're not leaking any fluid or air. This compressor is gear driven. Right underneath I have my power steering pump. It's mounted securely, nuts and bolts are tight, not cracked or broken, not leaking any fluid. Lines are securely attached, they're not leaking any fluid. It is also gear driven. My power steering reservoir, mounted securely, nuts and bolts are tight, not cracked or broken, it's not leaking any fluid. Cap is tight, not leaking fluid. To check the level, I pull the dipstick, make sure it was between add and full. I pull my oil dipstick, make sure it was between the add and the full mark. I'm going to come down and start with my suspension. I have a front suspension mount, my back suspension mount behind the shroud back there. They are both mounted securely, nuts and bolts are tight, not cracked or broken. Leaf springs are not cracked, broken, missing, or shifted. Securely attached with nuts and bolts, back, front and back suspension mounts. The bushings are present, not loose or worn. My shock absorber is not cracked, broken, not leaking any fluid. Attached securely on the bottom, nuts and bolts are tight. The bushing's present, not loose or worn. On the top, nuts and bolts are tight. Bushing is present, not loose or worn. U-bolts are present, not cracked or broken. Secured on the bottom with the nuts. I'm looking at my cheat sheet. I'm going to check my steering. I got my power steering gearbox. It's not cracked or broken, not leaking any fluid. Mounted securely, nuts and bolts are tight. Lines are attached securely, they're not leaking. Checking my pitman arm, my drag link, and my steering arm. They're all present, they're not cracked or broken. Attached securely with the castle nuts and the cotter pins. The ball joints are present, they're not cracked or broken. Checking my air brake, I have my air line mounted securely, not cracked, broken, not leaking any air. Attached to my brake chamber, mounted securely, nuts and bolts are tight. It's not cracked, broken, dented, rusted through with any holes. It's not leaking any air. The clamp is present and tight. Push rod is not bent. In addition, it has a locking nut. Slack adjuster is attached to the push rod with the clevis pin and the cotter key. To check these brakes, I would chock the wheels, release the brakes, pull on the slack adjuster. The push rod comes out an inch or more, probably needs adjusted. When these brakes are fully applied, the angle between the push rod and slack adjuster should not be less than 90 degrees. I'm going to check my brake lining, making sure it's not worn dangerously thin, not covered in any grease or oil, it's not cracked or broken. Checking the brake drum, making sure it's not cracked or broken, and it does not have any oil or grease on it. Looking down inside for any loose nuts, bolts, or springs, and I don't see any. Gonna check my sidewalls for abrasions, bulges, cuts, or separations. Checking my tread depth, at least 4/32 inch tread depth in every major groove, all the way across. I have even tread wear, and this tire, it does not have a recap. Checking my rims for bends, breaks, or welds that aren't factory. Checking if my valve stem is centered with the metal cap. Check the tire pressure. I'd use the tire pressure gauge. Don't have one, therefore I'm just going to visually check the tire to make sure it's not low or flat. I'm going to check, make sure my lug nuts are all present and tight. Looseness will be indicated by cracks radiating from the bolt holes, rust streaks, or shiny spots. My hub seal, to check the level of the oil, I pull the cap off, stick my finger into the first knuckle. I should just touch the oil. Nuts and bolts screws are tight. It's not leaking. If it were leaking, I'd see a puddle of oil here or a spray pattern of oil on the rim. I'm going to check my mirrors. Mounted securely. The mirrors are not cracked or broken. They're clean. Same with this one. Mounted securely. Mirrors clean, not cracked or broken. I've already shown that the steps will support my weight. A battery box underneath, mounted securely. Nuts and bolts are tight. Wires are securely attached to the battery, not cut, corroded, not loose. Check my door latch, making sure that it's working, and it is. It latches. Checking the hinges, nuts and bolts, making sure everything is secure here. Got my fully rated, fully charged, properly rated fire extinguisher. My 3 reflective triangles in the box, and here's more sticks. Look at all those. I would carry a spare fuse for every size amperage, except this truck is a circuit breaker. I'm going to check my DEF tank, mounted securely. Nuts and bolts are tight. It's not cracked or broken. Not leaking any DEF fluid. I don't see any DEF fluid on the ground. Cap is tight, not leaking any DEF. My side cab lights working, lens is clean, not cracked or broken. Proper color amber to the side, and they serve as a reflector. Left turn signal, parking light, and 4-way flasher. My fuel tank, making sure it's not cracked or broken, not leaking any fuel. I don't see any fuel on the ground. The cap is tight, not leaking fuel. The fittings are not loose, cracked, or broken, not leaking any fuel. Metal straps are secured with the rubber gaskets underneath. Most trucks will now have your stack. Checking my exhaust, make sure it's mounted securely. Nuts and bolts are tight, not cracked or broken. If there were leaks, there'd be soot marks at the connections. I'm going to check my drive shaft. Make sure it's not cracked, broken, twisted, bent, rusted. Making sure the U-joints are secure, free of debris. My frame, both sides, front and back, monitor they're not cracked, broken, rusted, twisted. All the nuts and bolts are secured. Check my air lines coming out of the back of the cab. They are secured, not leaking any air. They're not cut or frayed. Electric line is attached with the latch over top. It's not cut, frayed, it doesn't have any shorts. The lines themselves are not twisted, not dragging on the catwalk or dragging on the frame. You know, I did the same thing, I think, guys. I think,
Well, you didn't do the mounts, so you skipped that part.
yeah.
So now we got to do the
I'm not,
fifth wheel.
I think I should have skipped all that stuff.
Oh, okay, and just went to the fifth wheel.
We'll come back to the fifth wheel. You'll be able to see the correct order on that sheet. I'm checking my fifth wheel. The handle's in the locked position. Got my bolt and pin present. No space between the upper and lower fifth wheel. Sufficient grease. Sliding fifth wheel pins are in the locked position. Fifth wheel is mounted securely to the platform, not cracked or broken. Nuts and bolts are secure. The platform's attached to the frame, not cracked, broken. All the nuts and bolts are secure. I do not hear any air leaking from the airline. I'm going to come back and check my kingpin. Make sure it's present, not cracked, twisted, broken, missing. Making sure that the clamp is clamped around the kingpin. Checking my lights. I got left and right turn signals, four-way flashers, tail lights, brake lights. They're working. Lenses are clean, not cracked or broken. Proper color red to the rear. They may serve as reflectors. Backup lens is clean, not cracked or broken. Proper color clear. License plate light is working. It's clear. The lens is clean, not cracked or broken, and it is a proper color clear. Mud flaps mounted securely. Nuts and bolts are tight, not cracked or broken. The flap itself is present, not missing, loose. You'll be able to see wherever that brake is on the pre-trip after the fifth wheel, whether we're doing the stuff that I already did. So what I didn't cover, my suspension. I have my front suspension mount and my back suspension mount. They're mounted securely, nuts and bolts are tight. The airbag's not cracked, broken, doesn't have any holes in it. It's not leaking any air. Front suspension mounts, not cracked or broken. Nuts and bolts are tight. U-bolts are present, not cracked or broken. Secured on the bottom with the nuts. Have my torque rod and leaf springs. Not cracked, broken, missing, or shifted. Attached to the suspension mounts with nuts and bolts, and the bushings are present, not loose or worn. I have my air lines. They're attached securely. They're not cut, frayed, not leaking any air. Attached to my brake chambers, which are mounted securely. Nuts and bolts are tight. They're not cracked or broken, not dented, not rusted through with any holes. They're not leaking any air. The clamps are present and tight. Push rod and slack adjuster. Push rod is not bent. In addition, it has a locking nut. Push rod slack adjuster attached with the clevis pin and the cotter key. To check these brakes, I would chalk the wheels, release the brakes, pull on the slack adjusters. As long as the push rod doesn't go an inch or more, or if it does go an inch or more, they probably need adjusted. When these brakes are fully applied, the angle between the push rod and slack adjuster should not be less than 90 degrees. My brake lining, it's not more dangerously thin, not covered in any grease or oil, not cracked or broken. The brake drum is not cracked or broken. It's not covered in any grease or oil. I need to get back in shape.
It's a nice little workout. Yeah.
That is a workout.
Yeah.
Checking all four sidewalls for any abrasions, bulges, cuts, any separations. Make sure I got the proper spacing between the duals, free of debris. Have at least 2 32 inch tread depth in every major groove, even tread wear. Forgot my shock absorber. It's not cracked or broken. It's not leaking any oil. Mounted securely, top and bottom. Nuts and bolts are tight. Bushings are present. Checking my rims. Any bends, breaks, or welds that aren't factory. Checking my valve stems, both the outer and the inner, centered with metal caps. To check the tire pressure, I'd use the tire pressure gauge. Don't have one. Therefore, I'll thump the tires to make sure they're not low or flat. Making sure all my lug nuts are present and tight. Looseness will be indicated by cracks, rating from the bolt holes, rust streaks, or shiny spots. Axle seal, both the outer and the inner. Can't check the seal or level. It is a sealed unit. It's not leaking. Leaks will be indicated by a puddle of oil there or a spray pattern of oil on the rim. Nuts and bolts are tight. I'm going to check this axle the same way I just checked that one. Check the bulkhead. Make sure all the rivets are tight. It's not cracked, broken, dented, doesn't have any holes in it. Making sure my air lines are attached to the trailer securely, not leaking any air. Lines aren't cut or frayed. Electric line is attached with the latch over top. It's not cut, frayed, or short. Lines aren't twisted, not dragging on the catwalk or the frame. The front lines are also not dragging on the catwalk or the frame. I'm not sure if I said that. Check my marker light. It is working. Lens is clean, not cracked or broken. Proper color amber to the side. May serve as a reflector. Bottom rail and top rail, making sure they're secured. All the rivets are tight. They're not cracked, broken, don't have any holes in them. Checking my reflective tape, covers at least 50% of the side of the trailer. Present, not loose, worn, torn, missing, or dirty. Checking the spacing between my duals and landing gear, making sure I have enough space to make turns safely. Landing gear mounted securely, nuts and bolts are tight, all the welds are secured. Making sure the landing gear is cranked all the way up, the handle's in the secure position. Checking all my cross members, front to back, present, not cracked, broken, twisted, missing, or rusted. Checking the wooden floor, making sure it is in good shape, no holes in the floor. Come back, I got my side trailer light. It is working. Lens is clean, not cracked or broken. Proper color amber to the side, may serve as a reflector. Left turn signal, four-way flasher, and parking light. Checking the air lines, making sure it's secured. I don't hear any air leaks. There should be a handle here. My sliding tandem handles in the locked and secure position. The pins are locked in the frame. I'm going to check my suspension. Front mount and back mount, mounted securely, nuts and bolts are tight. They're not cracked or broken. Leaf springs present, nuts and bolts are tight on the back. Nuts and bolts are tight on the front. Torque rod and leaf, not cracked, broken, missing, or shifted. U-bolts present, not cracked or broken, secured on the bottom with the nuts. My brake airlines, mounted securely. Not cracked, broken, not leaking any air. Attached to the brake chambers, which are mounted securely. Nuts and bolts are tight. It's not cracked or broken. They're not cracked or broken. Not dented, not rusted with any holes. Clamps are present and tight. Gonna stick your head all the way in there and look at the rest of the brake parts and yell out. Have my push rod. It's not bent. In addition, it has a locking nut attached to my slack adjuster with the clevis pin and the cotter key. To check these brakes, I would chalk the wheels, release the brakes, pull on the slack adjuster. If it moves an inch or more, probably need adjusted. When these brakes are fully applied, the angle between the push rod and the slack adjuster should not be less than 90 degrees. Checking my brake lining, making sure it's not worn dangerously thin, not covered in grease or oil, not cracked or broken. Brake drum, not covered in any grease or oil, it's not cracked or broken. I don't see any loose nuts, bolts, or springs down inside the wheel well. Checking all four sidewalls on both duals, making sure there's no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or separations. Making sure I got good space between the duals, free of debris, rims, no bends, breaks, or welds that aren't factory. Making sure all my lug nuts are present and tight. Looseness will be indicated by cracks, rating from the bolt holes, rust streaks, or shiny spots. Checking my valve stems, outer and inner, making sure they're centered with metal caps. Check the tire pressure. I'd use the tire pressure gauge. I don't have one. Therefore, I'm going to thump the tires to make sure they're not low or flat. Axle seal, both the outer and the inner. They are secure. Nuts and bolts are tight. Screws are tight. It's not leaking. Leaks will be indicated by a puddle of oil here or a spray pattern on the rim. To check the level, I could either use the sight glass. If it's not visible, I'd remove the cap, stick my finger into the first knuckle, and it should just touch the oil.
Did you say you suggest touch it?
Should just touch it.
Like pull the cap off?
Yeah, and stick the finger into the first knuckle. It has a sight glass, but it's awfully dirty. I'm going to check this axle the same way I checked that one. And I'm not sure if I told you I checked my second drive axle the same way I checked the first drive axle. Did I say that?
Yeah, you did. You did.
Better off to say it twice if you're not sure. Check my mud flap, mounted securely, nuts and bolts are tight, the mud flap's present, not loose, worn, missing. ABS light, lenses is clean, not cracked or broken, proper color yellow to the side. Marker light is working, lens is clean, not cracked or broken, proper color red to the side, may serve as a reflector. Is Elmer here? Checking my ID. ID lights, trailer ID lights are working. Lenses are clean, not cracked or broken, proper color red to the rear, may serve as reflectors. Left and right turn signals, four-way flashers, tail lights, brake lights. They are working, lenses are clean, not cracked or broken, proper color red to the rear, may serve as reflectors. Checking my reflective tape, that it is present. Not loose, worn, torn, missing, or dirty. Checking the metal straps, making sure they're tight. Looseness would indicate that they might be broken. Checking the weather seal around the door. All my hardware is secured to the door. The handle is locked, latched and locked. Bumper mounted securely. Welds are in place. It is secure. License plate light is working. Lens is clean, not cracked or broken. Proper color clear, and the light is clear also. I'm going to check this side of the tractor trailer the same way I checked that side. You got a timer on that thing?
Yeah.